There they are. This little guy is a fascinating little plant. It doesn't look like much because it really isn't much. It's just a kind of old, wrinkled up green leaf. But this belongs to a plant known as the Putty Root Orchid. A plectrum is the genus, Hyale, something like that. As the species name, there's one, there's another one over there. It looks an awful lot like wild leeks, which we have these big long green ones like that guy right there. And oh, there's some more leeks. These are wild leeks. These are a tasty edible. But these guys, the Putty Root Orchid, really fits right into a lot of our learning targets about diversity, about an ecological niche, about energy, and even photosynthesis. So here it is in the middle of May, and you think it should be growing like crazy like everything else is in this nice green forest. But this guy takes a completely different approach to survival. It will bloom here in the next couple of weeks. But for the most part, this guy hides out all summer long when there's not a lot of light, bright sunshine. And instead, oh, there's another leaf too. To remember this spot. Instead, it deals with competition by trying to avoid it. It has evolved mechanisms to allow photosynthesis at just above freezing. So this leaf actually, a new leaf will emerge late in the summer, fall, and it will stay green like this all winter long. And any time in October, November, December, really any time that it's not covered in snow and it gets above freezing, this little leaf will photosynthesize. Not much, but just enough. It'll put those sugars down into the ground. There's actually a pretty fat little root on this guy. And then it stores up that energy. So in the spring, and hopefully soon here, it'll have enough energy stored up. It'll send up a flower stalk. There'll be flowers on it, and it'll bloom. It'll produce seed, and then it will die back underground. And then it's just this kind of wrinkled up old cruddy leaf until it puts up another leaf later in the year. So it tries to avoid the competition from all these other wildflowers that are vying for the sunlight. And then as the trees continue to leaf out, that it's actually really rather dark here in the bottom of the forest floor. So instead of trying to eke out a little existence, fighting with everybody else, it just waits until everybody else dies back. And then it decides to come out and utilize a resource that is no longer being utilized, even if the resource isn't that good, with very low winter sunlight. Still better than very little summer sunlight in a very dense canopied forest. So we see a great example of creating a unique niche, something that other plants don't do. It's a nice little diversity. It's a fairly uncommon plant being an orchid. And we see photosynthesis, we see the energy utilization. So a lot of our learning targets are right in this plant. You want to learn more about it? Just Google search Putty Root Orchid. A plectrum is the genus. So fascinating little plant, great little member of this forest community, along with all these wild leeks. There's some bellwort blooming right there. So great little plant. Hopefully you guys having a good learning, good online school here.